Hey, welcome to a very live, very wonderful Groove Diner After Dark tonight. We are having some fun in this room, let me tell you. It's going to be a heck of a night. You're not going to believe some of the things that we have been doing for the past 25 or 30 minutes. Okay, I'm kidding. For the past 2 hours, trying to get all of this live stuff rolling. It's been a minute since we did a live one. I'm thrilled to have my friend Renee Beavers with me tonight. You'll get to know Renee a little bit more tonight, and you'll understand why he and I have been friends. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, I just wanted to tell you something that I've thought about all day today. Opportunity. I think about opportunity a lot, and opportunity requires preparation. Opportunity requires an incredible amount of work, and a lot of times people miss opportunity because it's dressed up in overalls and you have to go out and do the work, right? That's one of the things about opportunity. It typically doesn't just present itself in the way that you want it to. It doesn't just open up some door and say, here, please have this opportunity. It's something that you have to do in order to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And Renee has absolutely done that. I can't wait to share his story with you and to hear what he has done through the course of his opportunities as they have presented themselves. So stick around. We've got a lot to do tonight. Those of you that are on YouTube joining us, thank you so much for being here. Those of you on Twitch, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Groove Diner After Dark. That's right, we have our own channel now. So Groove Diner After Dark, if you haven't signed up over there, please do. Also like and follow our page here on Facebook Live if you're watching that. And let me know how that's working for you as well. I can't wait to have a little conversation. And again, we are live tonight, so you guys can talk with us. You can ask Renee questions, ask me questions, whatever you'd like to do, okay? So please engage with us. We can't wait to see it. And I'm looking forward to the conversation throughout the course of the night. For now, we'll be right back after this message. This episode of Groove Diner After Dark is brought to you by Groove Diner After Dark, the store. That's right, starting with tonight's episode, you can tell the world of your love for Groove Diner After Dark by owning official Groove Diner After Dark merchandise. Coffee mugs, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, a pint glass, stickers, and much more can be yours today. Simply go to GrooveDinerAfterDark.com or click the link in this video description and get your gear today. Thank you for your support. All right, so tonight's guest, Renee and I have literally been friends for 25 years. Yeah. We met in 1997-ish, right? Yeah. In Nashville, Tennessee. We were both playing with the same guy, this guy named Ray Kinman. And it was really an interesting time for me to get to know Renee during that moment, because I went and saw Ray Kinman play with Renee on drums, and I thought, this guy's great. So it was this cool little moment. Well, subsequently I ended up playing with Ray for a couple of years, several years actually after that fact. So I'm not quite, I'm not sure how you and I ended up swapping that gig out, but we did, and we did it for some time. Fast forward to about 2006 or 7, something like that. 7 or 8. Yeah. And I was walking through an Osh, a hardware store out here in Los Angeles, and lo and behold, this guy comes walking right toward me, and it was Renee. Of all the crazy things, to run into somebody that I knew from Nashville at a random hardware store in Pasadena, actually, was just shocking to me. But there he was, and we hugged it out, and we said our hellos, and we've really never been out of touch again since that moment. I don't guess, have we? No. It's kind of been amazing. So please help me welcome Renee Beavers. That's right, it's Renee. You should put. Why didn't you put a little?
Ask my mom.
Renee A. Yeah. That would have made it a little easier.
Because I get Rena and they say
Rena happens a lot.
Why say it like that?
I know, right?
My mom says it just looked like Renee.
Well, whatever works, right? That's pretty awesome. So you've been out here for how long? How long you been in California?
Well, I was raised in California.
Yeah.
So, moved to Nashville 94 and then came back out here around 2005.
Okay.
So been back here in
right
California.
about the same time I did, actually.
Yeah, you probably were here a little quicker than I was.
I got here in May of 05, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may have been
I don't know. Anyway.
August, September,
Oh, fair
something
enough.
like
Yeah.
that.
I got you. Okay. So let's start with what prompted you to make the move from California? You're from Northern California.
Central
California. What prompted you to make the move to Nashville initially?
Doing some contemporary Christian, work. With a friend of mine that I went to high school with. So he kept talking about, we need to get out to, Nashville.
Of course.
Nashville, gotta get out there. So I ended up making a move. He ended up moving up to Northern California, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Met a lot of good guys. You were one of them.
Sure.
The guys, Keo,
of course,
Neoshi,
Dorico,
later,
Marcus Finney. I mean, all these people that we know from our time in Nashville. Yeah.
So, just out there and, try to land, the pop country gig.
Right.
Of course, my dream was Vince Gill.
Was it?
Yeah. If I could drum for somebody at that time, it was Vince.
That's a great gig, but why Vince? You just loved his stuff?
I loved his playing, his vocals, the
yeah.
tunes, because they were border, just a little bit of R&B in
of
there,
course.
in his voice. And so.
Oh, he's such a great singer.
Yeah, and the whole band is too.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
So.
I mean, you don't step in and do the Eagles.
No.
The way he, after Glenn Fry's, you don't step in for Glenn Fry if you can't really bring it. And he
right.
did that. Obviously now he's doing that. That would have been a great gig. Man.
Oh, it would have.
And then subsequently, I mean, you had a good bit of success in Nashville. You did pretty well.
I did all right. The big thing was because I played enough bass guitar to get myself in trouble on gigs.
Right.
So, a buddy of mine, I don't know if you ever met Chucky Burke.
I don't think I did.
Chucky worked with Isaac Hayes.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And The Disputed Truth. He called me one day and said, hey, you want to do a blues gig? Yeah. With who? He goes, Little Milton. I said,
oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not?
I go,
on drums or bass?
Well, I said drums. He goes, nah, bass. All right. Well, who's on drums? He goes, me. And I said, all right.
All right. There you go. Yeah.
So learned a lot.
I bet you did.
Learned a lot, and even just playing the most simple bass lines that blues bass players typically do, especially on the older stuff. He taught you how to dig it deeper each note. How can I make this next note as deep as the first one?
Well, there's definitely a thing with you is you are all about pocket and all about groove. I mean, your catchphrase is groove responsibly. I think that's a great tagline, man. So let's take a look at Renee grooving responsibly a little bit here with Coco Montoya. We're going to take a quick breather here and listen to you play.
All right.
See what I'm saying? All about pocket, this man. It's crazy. I'm going to just take a moment and say a quick hello to some folks that have joined us. I'm going to scroll back up through here. Hey, Toby, good to see you. I'm glad you decided to join us tonight after all. Toby is one of our most faithful watchers, and she's oftentimes our most active commenter, so we love having her around. I'm glad she's with us today. Hey, Charles, how you doing in South Africa this morning? I hope everything is well. It is morning for you there in South Africa, isn't it? Trish, that would be Renee's better half. thankfully. It's good to see you here, Trish. Nice to have you. Hey, Susan and Russell in Vegas. That's my sister and brother-in-law. They're actually going to come out here this weekend and see me. It's going to be awesome. Charles, thank you for the comment, man. It's the tunes played before the show. I appreciate that, man. That's some of the silliness that I do for a living. Eddie Dyes, watching from Silver Strand Beach. Renee knows Eddie, right?
Yeah, good bass player.
A good bass player. That's really cool. Nice. Craig Martin, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you're liking the show. That's really awesome. Herman Matthews, my friend. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. I'm sure you're talking about Pocket right there. I have no doubt whatsoever that that's what you're talking about. Obviously, Renee is about as deep a pocket as they come. So, Renee, one of the things that I'm always after is your snare drum. I just want your drum. That snare drum sounds so good.
It's in the car.
Hey, no, it's not.
It's not.
You didn't bring it this way.
No, I didn't bring it this time.
I know you didn't. Sincerely, I do love the sound of your snare, but the reason that I love the sound of your snare is because of the way that you play it. Yeah. The way that you play that drum, and any drum I've ever heard you play, I do love that drum of yours. What is that drum? It's the Manu Katché?
Yeah, the Manu Katché.
Man, that thing sounds good. But the way that you approach playing that snare drum, tell me literally, physically, how do you hit that drum? You're a traditional grip guy like I am.
Traditional, yeah. Just try and stay consistent. Sometimes I think I got a little bit of it from Todd Zuckerman when he talked about when you hit the rim, you know, your rim shot.
Yeah.
That you have the tip of the stick a little bit past center. Oh, get a little bit more meat.
A little deeper.
Yeah, a little bit more meat. And I don't tune to any particular pitch.
Right.
You know, it's just more of a tension.
Sure.
You know, so this feels good if I can get my rebound feeling right. You know, and it happens to fall right in that zone. And I think you heard on the cruise ship when I posted one of my videos.
Of course.
And you said that snare, you know, but it was
a different
maple snare.
Yeah, right.
You know?
But it's your hands.
Maple snare, yeah. And talking to Dave Dennering, you know, and say, I think you sound like you on any drum
you
hit.
do. I agree.
That's kind of the thing, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own little DNA that they put in, you know. You know, you listen to Jerry Brown, backbeat, you know, and it's like, and that was one of my goals to get consistent like his.
Well, you have mastered that. I can assure you, sir. I mean, when I hear you play, I would know you're playing anywhere because of the way that your snare drum sounds. Above anything else, it's all about that snare drum sound. And it's really cool to hear you say that that's something you work toward, because I don't know that everybody knows that you have to do that.
Yeah, you have to work for everything.
Don't you?
From the hi-hat to the foot.
Right.
It's just try to be as consistent, you know, because, you know, there's no, well, with a click track, there's going to be some sequence stuff that can expose you a little bit. But when you don't have any click, you don't have any backing track.
I'm sorry. Was that done without a click?
Yeah.
You're fired. I hate you. Get out of my studio.
No, we play with a trick. The only little trick that I do is I use an app. You know, that just kind of monitors what we're putting out tempo-wise. Sure. So sometimes, you know, you drive all day, you feel a little tired, or the adrenaline's kicking, and it just kind of lets me know, okay, it's not feeling fast like I think it is. You know, so just more of a little monitor. Don't lean on it as a crutch or anything, but just do my best to be consistent.
Do you just walk in perfect time?
No.
I mean, come on, man. I really thought
marching band we probably did. You know, you typically watch.
Well, on that note, is that where you got your start? How did you get your start? We didn't really talk about that. What was your start? I mean, wasn't the typical pots and pans thing?
I want to say it was the pots and pans and everything, but no, would have got in trouble on that. So it was. And I probably can't even remember, you know, what got me into just playing on things. Right. But we were raised out in the country. My dad worked for a farmer, so there'd be like welding rods, drumsticks, tree branch drumsticks. Of course. You know, 55-gallon oil drums. So we'd be playing on those and stuff. And my oldest brother was a drummer originally.
No kidding.
Then in high school, he got his first guitar, you know, stuff. So a friend would come over, had a drum set, and it would just be drums and guitar. They'd be just jamming, and I probably was like 6 or 7.
Right. Really? That young?
And then they forgot a pair of sticks. So they went, found one of my mom's old mops, cut the head off, snapped it in half. Bigger than 5 Bs or whatever, 2 Bs, triple X.
Right.
So they were using those to play the kit with. So brother said, I think Renee can play a little bit,
Yeah.
So I got behind this kit, which I ended up owning later.
Really?
Yeah, bought it for $90.
Oh, nice. You don't still have that, do you?
Oh, no, it's an older Pearl kit.
Yeah.
But the floor tom was Majestic.
Oh, yeah, sure. I remember those, yeah.
But you can squeeze it and you can hear the wood crack underneath. So I got behind it, and it was like sitting behind, Rick Latham's kit,
Right, sure, yeah.
Because I sat behind his one night. It's like driving a semi-truck, but
yeah.
when you could master it, it felt good playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just playing beats. Just started playing beats, you know. And then, but in elementary school, signed up for the school band, and they taught, read the notes, A, B, C, and D, and all that, and the sharp. And I couldn't get that. Drummers don't have to do that. I'm thinking that all we gonna do is play rhythm.
Well,
so I flunked. So I couldn't be in band. But my mom drove the school bus.
Oh, that's cool.
For the school system, and decided we hung out in the auditorium. That's where they had band.
Right.
So had a friend, a couple of guys. Here, you hit this bass drum like this. I'll do this over here like this. And the band director came in and, what are you doing? I go, I'm just playing. He goes, so why aren't you in band? I go, because I flunked your test. He goes, well, come on in. So I ended up getting into band, but my first actual performance was pulling like a, 46, 48 inch bass drum on a cart in a parade, because the person who did it was sick.
Yeah. So
that was my first performance.
Oh my gosh, man, that's incredible. Did you end up doing marching band then later on?
Yeah. Did the marching band in elementary school. Then while in 7th grade, my oldest brother was still, 2 of them were still in high school. And the oldest one, Rodney, he played football.
Sure.
But during halftime, someone would switch into their band uniforms, perform, go back. Right. But wasn't able to, so they said, well, we need a drummer. And so happened the high school director was teaching at our school. So he says, you want to do some halftime? And all right.
Yeah.
So I get up there, and my brother introduced me to everybody. They said, so can he play? So the cadence, the section was snare drum, tenor drum, single tenor, and the bass drum.
So there was a tenor drum with mallets?
Yeah. So I played the tenor drum part. And they go, all right, that's pretty good. Say, what about the snare, right? And he goes, and I played the snare drum part, all from memory, because he taught me, so they're like, all right. So going, through school, eventually, watching, I learned how to read by rote. Of course. Reading it, that sounds like this, it looks like this, or it looks like this, sounds like this.
That's a pretty smart way to do that. Yeah. So to learn what it looks like and how it sounds.
Yeah, because a lot of times all of it was boom, that.
Yeah, sure.
That then you just learn the different things.
Sure.
But got my reading together. Not like yours. You read great. All the guys.
I worked a bit to be a pretty good reader. Yeah.
So that's pretty much, most of how I got started.
That's really a cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right. So we have a couple of questions coming in over here. By the way, hi, Veronica. Thanks for joining us. How are things down under in Australia tonight? Thanks for joining us as always. Veronica wants to know, do you have a collection of drums, Renee?
Right here. but he's keeping good care of me. No, I just never really had the need, for a whole bunch of drums.
Me neither.
So it's like, if you can't take one instrument and learn how to do,
it's killing me.
Learn how to do as much as you can with that one.
You hear how he's treating me, right? You hear what he's saying.
No. I mean, there's valid.
I'm just
it's valid all in having.
I'm messing with you
because I want to play That black chrome over brass.
Yeah, well, we can make that happen.
Yeah. So no, unfortunately not.
All right, fair enough.
Just do what I do.
Okay, so Herman Matthews is asking for a friend. He says he would like to know: do you play shuffles with Coco? And with his knowledge of shuffles, and with you playing drums, does he give you some wiggle room when playing shuffles? Asking for a friend, Herman is.
Asking for a friend. Yeah, there's a little bit of room, but usually when I hear if he kicks off the tune and I have an idea if it's more of a Texas vibe, then I try to get in that Herman Matthews frame of mind.
I know, right?
Tony Bronico, because this didn't come just from, to me honestly, from just what hearing it, but you talk about, I think we're going to talk later about formative years. I still think we're in them now.
I agree completely.
So when I see Herman play, it's like I'm trying to, listen, hear Tony, hear, don't play a lot of straight ahead stuff anymore, but, check out Marcus Finney,
right?
Those guys, so you could always learn from them, and it's still going to be your own DNA coming out,
Blues drumming is such a specific style. To kind of build on what Herman was asking, I did a couple of blues tours in my younger days. Johnny Shines, back before he died. I think he was 137 years old when I played with him, but I found myself struggling terribly to understand the depth of the grooves that you have to possess. And, me being, I was 23, 4, 5 years old, very young, white guy, trying to figure out how to make what I was hearing work, especially coming from my drumline background.
Right.
I'd like to know what your thoughts are on the specificity, and I think this is kind of building on Herman here, is specifically how do you approach learning those shuffles? What is it that helped you become a master of it, and you are an absolute master of it?
I try to be. Thanks.
You are.
Thanks. I think some of it is finding those older recordings. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of video to where you can see what the right and left hand is doing, because on some of the older recordings, you're trying to figure out were they swinging the right hand?
Yeah, sure.
Were they double shuffling?
Sure.
Both hands doing the same, or how much of the left hand was actually shuffling itself.
See, even those little nuances, I don't know that I would have ever known to even listen for that initially.
Well, when I was living in Nashville and was talking about Chucky Burke, we'd go, to the jams when you first get there. Go to Barbara's, go to so-and-so. There's all these jams.
Sure.
So they said, have you heard Chucky Burke yet? I said, no. They said, you need to go check him out. Listen to him shuffle.
All right.
So I went to a jam. He was in the house band. And they started, and he started, and I was going, I thought I knew how to shuffle.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and listening to him and watching him when I played with Milton, that's where a lot of it came. Then back out here, I started working with Janova Magnus. Yeah. And that's the great thing about the gigs that I've done with Milton and Janova, now Coco, is that the festivals or certain places we go, you run into some of these cats, like the late Richard Ennis. They call him Bigfoot. Yeah. And if you ever hear people talk about Fred Below.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Because a lot of the old guys were jazz drummers that were playing blues. Right. So it was just that approach there.
Was it more top down than bottom up? Because for me, I think of blues as being bottom up. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was just kind of a jazz drummer playing blues.
I got you. Like the old Chuck Berry days of jazz drummers playing rock and roll.
Right.
Yeah.
So with Richard, they said he's the closest out here to Fred Below. Right. So I'd watch him play, and he had a unique way of this right hand, do what he does. But it just sounded so fat and big. I would play some gigs with some of the guys that would play with him. And after, play, they said, yeah, I hear a little bit of Fred Below in you. I go, oh,
okay,
really? Then. All right, I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah.
but it's just a lot of listening and a lot of I don't want to say being them or cloning into them, but it's going to eventually evolve to where it becomes your personality.
Sure.
So Coco,
there you go, Herman. Right. So it's really late shuffle, huh?
Yeah, well, some will be, you may lay back a little bit, but you just I pretty much try to just play right where he's at.
I got it.
And then, quarter to right hand, which they'll do in Texas. Okay, I may listen for a second. Let me go back to the double.
Yeah, sure.
But he pretty much, unless you get too far out there, or something that's just not working, then it's like,
Do you get that on stage?
No, more later.
That's funny.
He's great. Everybody asks, "Can we hear you play?" He goes, "No."
That's funny.
Says something like, "I quit before I realized I quit playing drums." But yeah, he played with Albert Collins.
Did he really?
So yeah,
Herman apparently knew that. I did not know he played drums. Certainly not at that level.
Yeah.
Wow. All right then.
He said, "Get in the bus." He said, "Are we gonna rehearse?" Go, "No, just get your drums." They head up.
Whoa.
So went up to Washington, played up there, and
really.
And then the one thing he taught him when Coco started playing guitars, which you could apply to almost everything, you play a note, play that note, like you mean that note,
That's really awesome, man. All right, so we have some more questions coming in over here. Let me take a look and see what we've got. Veronica, did you choose blues, Renee, or did blues choose you? Or did blues clues?
Yeah, think the second part.
The blues chose you?
Yeah. Because just from the gig that came via Chucky with Milton, then, it still do some R&B and some jazz gigs, but just seemed like all the blues stuff started coming in. So
that's pretty
go
cool.
with it.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Go with it.
Chris Ware, how you doing, Chris? Nice to have you with us tonight. Renee, what is the difference between Nashville and LA scenes, beside the obvious, Nashville country music, LA not, etc.? And how did those cities affect your playing? And I definitely have an answer for that one. But what do you think about those? That's kind of a complex question. But let's start with the first part. Yeah. What's the biggest difference in Nashville and LA?
Even though it may be in a sense smaller, LA is like a big pond, but Nashville be a little smaller, but it's just cracking anywhere those circles, cracking that shell on a certain
it's
things.
Tough, isn't it?
Yeah. It can be, you make great friends, and they dig you. I did the day job out there, and Glenn Wharf, bass player, on all the sessions, come in, and the guys would be great. They talk to you. I met Leroy Parnell, who's played on Coco's album, and so they're great friends. So we keep hoping that he shows up to one of the shows so I can finally play with him.
Nice. So the small factor, personally, I found it made it more difficult to break through, because for me anyway, it was definitely harder to crack that shell in Nashville than out here, just because there's so many other little circles out here. To me, Nashville had kind of one or two circles only,
right? And
it was a little harder. But was that your experience, or?
Yeah, but sometimes you go home and you think, is it something, playing, or is it something personality wise?
Right.
Because you have to fit in.
You do.
You have to fit. And the interesting story, with Keo, I'm moving. He called me on the phone, and I answered the phone, and I'm gonna move to Nashville, and he started playing with like a 9-piece soul band.
Of course.
A great band. I filled in one time for the bass player.
Right.
It's really cool stuff.
I think I might have come to that show. I seem to recall going to a show with you playing bass in a 9-piece
No, it wouldn't have been that one, because they called me and said, we need a bass player. And I was playing golf. I was on the golf course. Said a bass player had appendicitis. We need a bass player. So I had to go grab my stuff, and I played his rig, I think.
Did you?
But when I got my bass, and I drove near Kingston Springs, I think, somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
And left my car, rode the rest of the way, went to like Alabama or Georgia.
Okay. gotcha.
But, you know, Kia was like, I don't know if I'll be able to, how I'm going to do.
Oh, well, he did okay.
And I told him, I said, dude, by the end of the year, you're going to be playing with somebody. You know what? He did.
Well, he's been with he was Big and Rich for how long?
Yeah, he started doing. Then next thing you go, yeah, I'm going out with and do some stuff with Richard Marx.
There you go. See, it all works that way. Let's see what else we've got here. Kendall Johnson, being inspired to keep playing at an advancing age is an issue for me. I see it as connected to general passion for life. Renee, how do you deal with this? How do you keep your passion fires lit? What a great question. That's a great question. How do you keep that lit? That's definitely a question that I would like to know as well.
Just loving to do what you want to do, play music. The other passion is that I want to eat.
Of course.
There's that passion there. Gets really, when you sit there and you're on one gig, but then you're looking forward to where's the next gig going to be.
Right.
So Janova used to say, especially with blues musician, it's not for the weak of heart or the faint of heart.
That's for sure.
Stuff. So you have some good shows, good places. You have some good shows, and you be playing like my first gig with Milton. Rehearsed with him one night. Then we did a show in Nashville. Then we went to like Oklahoma and Texas.
Right.
And that first show, we were hauling our gear across dirt.
Oh man.
Into a jute joint.
Yeah.
And had chili pepper lights all over. The floor was, had kind of dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he starts this one tune, rubato, chord. Right, then we do these hits. Then it kicks into just a shuffle.
Right.
And these women were in there and they were like, oh yeah, and I get it. It's one of those moments, you get what it's about,
Right, sure.
And did a slow blues. And then he taught me, he goes, this is the line I want you to play. So he gave me the line. Then he turned around and he said, that's the real.
Of course, yes.
and I said, I get it. Nice. So there was a lot of those moments. Yeah. Same thing with Coco,
Right.
We'll play something and then it's like, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Well, you and Coco, you guys just got off a blues cruise recently.
Yeah. The end of January into the first week of February.
Right. Do you like doing those blues cruise kind of things?
Yeah, it's cool, because of the pandemic, you could get off the boat, but I didn't want to necessarily have to worry about the protocol coming back on,
sure.
Or, in the port that you're in.
Sure.
And plus a lot of stuff, sleep because you just played the night before.
Of course, yeah.
But, I told you there was like 36, 38 acts on there. So you'll see some drumming friends and bass player friends and stuff. And then they have a midnight jam on the pool deck. And that gets going.
Right. No doubt. Holy cow.
It's great. Ronnie Baker Brooks, those guys. And then the Anson Thunderberg. So you get to, if you sit in with them, you work that Texas thing.
Yeah, that's fun.
And stuff. So, it's great because and for the fans, it's like a backstage pass.
Of course.
Because the artists don't play and then they're detached. They go back to their room or whatever.
Right.
So you could see them, having breakfast and they say hi to you,
Nice.
Then there's autograph signing day, but it's real cool.
Yeah, it sounds really fun. Well, on that note, Eli, we have another video. By the way, yes, Eli is back with us tonight. I meant to mention that a minute ago. Eli's back, and Brian Oshab is handling the camera tonight as well. So we've got a full complement in the room tonight. Eli, let's take another look at Renee playing with Coco Montoya.
Coming right up.
Yeah. So I think it was Charles Anderson that just commented that he loves Renee's Pocket. Everybody loves Renee's Pocket. Renee's Pocket is sickeningly deep. And I wish I could do that too. Yeah, I know, right? Give him a call. He's saying, Veronica says she's a passionate blues music fan. Grateful that blues found you, Renee. So that's really fun, Veronica. Oh, and Veronica asked a question here too. I didn't see this. If you had the gift of hindsight, okay, let me start that again. Let me read that this time, like a person that can actually read. If you had the gift of hindsight and knowledge you now have when you were starting out, what genre would you choose? And she asks us both that question. What genre would you choose?
That's hard to say, what you choose, because you see, you could have one path and then it leads you here.
I know, right?
But I almost would say it all. I mean,
it's tough.
When I did an audition one time in Nashville, and it was kind of a southern rock country thing, and so I played the tunes the guy had, but he goes, "You're a jazz drummer." I go, he goes, "I can just kind of hear it." He goes, "Give me a little bit more,
right.
Skinner-ish,
That's
something."
Funny, yeah.
And they go, "All right." So then you just change the vibe, but sure. They hear your DNA, they hear what's in you.
Of course, yeah.
And so, but yeah, I mean, I would love to play the, straight ahead jazz.
Yeah.
But then again, all the Motown and funk stuff, soul and all that. Yeah. And that's what's great about Coco, is because he's not just straight up blues.
Right.
It's blues bass, but you hear, some funky stuff. You hear, him kick off on the rock end of things, stuff. Yeah. So it's really, really good. So concentrate. No matter what, it's still going to be a backbeat.
Yeah, sure. I think I would probably go with hardcore calypso metal.
I didn't think about that one.
I don't know either. I was trying to think what my answer would be. It probably would be some of what I'm kind of doing, although I have a certain funkiness to my drumming, and I like that funkiness thing. So a little further down the road of funk would probably have been my overall choice, if I was just to pick one genre.
Right.
Only one genre. But that's really tough. But thanks for the question. Really appreciate that. Nathan Brown, welcome to the show. I know you and Renee. In fact, that's Nathan in those videos with you with Coco, isn't it?
That was Nate on that song.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's some really serious stuff. Yeah. I know why you're not playing bass on that gig.
Yeah. And it would be easy to, comp a little more to what he's doing.
Sure.
But it's like, why?
Right.
He sounds so great right there. The best thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Jimmy Paxson says, potato and meat equal bread.
I don't even know what that means.
Meat and potatoes equal bread equals bread.
Oh, that kind of bread. Got it. Oh, yeah. That's true. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I've been talking with a lot of drummer friends, obviously with the show, but also just talking with a lot of drummer friends, because in the world in which you exist, that's certainly true. I don't know if that's true in my world, doing what I do. It's a really interesting thing to me, to go on an audition, because you hear all the time groove, and you've got that on lockdown. But then sometimes you see an audition, some guy will go in and just, vomit all over the drums and get the gig.
Yeah.
And I've never quite figured that out.
Maybe it was. Maybe it's what they were looking for that.
Maybe so, but then the gig itself is,
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you know to go in there and?
Yeah, I know.
I always wondered that question. Who has that idea that it's okay to do that? Man, that's crazy to me. But good for you for finding your spot. And kind of on that note, we actually missed a question from Chris Ware a minute ago. Part of his question about Nashville and LA. How did that affect your playing, moving from one city to another?
Not too much, except for to try and morph a little bit into the scene of what they do.
Yeah.
And how they do it.
Yeah.
Well,
how do you define that?
Go to the jams, watch them play.
How do you, Renee, define that?
Well,
between the two cities.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was like before I went out there, there'd be some guys here in Central California, would play everything from, the Scorpions to Brooks and Dunn and stuff. So I would go and sit in, So I started learning, and they would do a Brooks and Dunn tune, and I would sit in on bass. And I go, okay. Then I hear it on the radio, going home, and then go, okay, I'll be ready tomorrow night.
Right.
So when I got to Nashville, got invited to this banquet for a golf tournament, and I met the drummer, and I can't remember who the artist he was with, but he said, "You want to sit in?" I go, "Yeah, sure, if it's okay."
Right.
Yeah. So he slipped me in between the tune, and nobody knew it changed.
Oh, that's seriously.
So the guy would call like, "Don't call me lonesome," or some Willing Jennings.
Incredible.
So I started, and More Their Shuffle is on the left. You remember Lee Kelly?
Yeah, I know Lee. Yeah.
He would talk about that. You kind of lift on the shuffle.
Yeah, he plays with Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah,
these days.
So this band leader turned around and looked at him. Oh my God. He's like, didn't realize so much difference. So I played a few more tunes, and everybody's like, sound great. You go, yeah, that sounds good. And somebody said, how do you know all these tunes? I said, some I know, some I don't. The rest I'm guessing.
Yeah, right.
But just learn to hear, being a bass player.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of knowledge of keyboards,
sure.
So notes, can hear a song structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here comes the turnaround. This move probably gonna move to the 4,
Right.
Whatever. So, kind of could just eventually start hearing that.
Right.
And Jimmy Vivino would tell me, I love about you is you got big ears.
Sure. Sure.
So I still sounded like me, but I just tried to. What did they do? Playing wise, and maybe personality again, but that got them there.
You're also a singing drummer. You do some background vocals.
Yeah, because it was required. But,
requirements happen.
You sing a lot more. You used to do stuff in church. Stuff.
Well, so, even in the video a minute ago, you're singing background vocals.
That's me screeching out the little high parts.
Do you think that's helped you get gigs through the years that you are a singing, or do you qualify yourself as a singing drummer? I do.
I haven't did it like that or done it like that.
Yeah.
But I knew Coco's gig required vocals.
I gotcha.
So it's like, I can do it.
Okay. Do you have to plan your drum parts around it, or is it just perfectly natural?
No, kind of pretty much natural. Yeah. It's harder on bass, but
is it?
With Milton, I sing background vocals too.
Got it.
So there's a few tunes.
Yeah, it's funny. I started out as a singer, and I've been singing longer than I've been drumming. So when I sat down to play drums, I just naturally started singing. Right. So singing and playing was just like breathing in a lot of ways. So it's cool that it worked that way for you as well.
And you watch Phil Collins say, "He can do it. I can.
He can do it. I can do it." Absolutely. Tell me your drumming Rushmore. I want to know who your guys, four guys, or not so guys, your 4 drumming Rushmore. Who is it on your?
See, I hear you talk about that each week.
I do.
It's like, that's not fair.
It's not fair. That's the whole idea.
So it almost like had to be categories, so all of these fit under some.
It's gotta be.
Okay, Buddy.
Of course. Not me.
Yeah.
Buddy
he
Rich.
Being kind of the double exposure.
Yes.
But he was just,
oh my gosh.
When I discovered him, it was one of those, discovered it, played in the jazz band, played a festival competition, junior college.
Right.
And it was tune I was just blazing. And I thought, I had a 1 or 2 bar break, and I thought, I'm gonna something Buddy in there.
Right.
I threw them singles in there. It's like, they got back in the tune.
Yeah.
Saw the judges' comment.
Yeah.
And you hear the tapes. Who dropped that bag of marbles? Sound like you dropped a bag of marbles up there. And I was like, it kind of got to me. And I said, it's kind of like, I guess Buddy could get away with it. So we did the same tune in Reno, and it was the International Jazz Festival. Changed the approach a little bit, but the overall judge comment when you listen to the recording, man, way to drive the band.
Nice. Yeah.
So sorry.
That's cool. All right, so Buddy, that's one. Buddy Rich, that's one.
Gad.
Steve Gadd makes perfect sense.
You know, because saw him at a Zillion Day, I think 83 at USC.
Okay.
And went back, you know, played drums in church, you know, a small church. And once in a while, you know, they let you do a little something, you know, here, play your talent, you know, for the Lord.
Of course.
So one of the sisters said, you know, I want to hear a drum solo. And I'm going, oh, great. So after hearing Gadd, I said, okay. So I just kind of Gadd myself.
Oh, that's cool.
Do the thing,
yeah, I like that.
But it's just this overall vibe and everything.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Buddy Rich, Steve Gadd.
Yeah. If we're going, I want to say like Tony Williams or Elvin Jones, you know.
Of course.
One of that, you know.
But you have to pick
Papa
one.
Jones. Yeah.
Or those can be your last two.
No, because Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're picking Tony.
So how many was that?
That's three. Yeah.
Okay, so 4. I know you're expecting to hear Vinny.
Well, yeah, because you're always. I mean, you send me Vinny stuff about as much as I.
But everybody's hearing Vinny.
Yeah.
I can say little Vinny Goyes.
Oh boy, he's good. He is so good, man.
But yeah, you know, Vinny's one.
Yeah.
You know, because just everything he plays is Vinny.
He is Vinny.
You're right in there, Herman. If you're still listening,
he's listening. He's still with us. Yeah. It's funny because Keith Tenenbaum, he loves Jimmy Paxson.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I played, you know, when you saw me at my local gig, how I pretty much ended up playing with Coco.
Yeah, right.
Well, and Reseda.
Oh, yeah, okay. That
or Tarzana.
I've seen you a few times.
And Jimmy came in to play with the main act.
Right.
So I played before him, and first time meeting him, and he says, man, I walked in, you guys sound like a freaking record.
There you go.
You know, he goes, your drumming was, and I was like, wow. You know, so to hear compliments from Jimmy, Herman, you know, Jerry Brown. Yeah. I got to play bass at a jam on a couple of tunes with Ricky Lawson.
Oh, dude, man, come on.
And it was like, I didn't want your friends. Now you're going to get a little piece of this. So I played, and Ricky went to do a solo. He goes, let me have it. And that's when you learn how to read the drummer.
Yeah, right.
If you're playing bass. He goes, let me have it. Okay, so I just pocket.
Mm-hmm.
No, let me have it.
Gone.
A really great guy. You know,
nice.
We all miss him.
Yeah, absolutely. And in case you don't know, Jerry Brown played with Stevie Wonder for how many years? Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's who Renee's referring to with Jerry Brown.
He's out with Diana Ross right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. See, Charles Anderson, my drum Rushmore just got another face. Renee.
Thank you.
Nice. I like it. Veronica would like to know if Coco is coming to Australia anytime. I know you guys tour the world.
We did do Australia in 2017, I think it was.
All right.
We did a week residency at Birdland.
Did you?
Or Bird's Basement.
Okay.
You know, which is really great.
All right.
So get in touch with him, his agency. We'd
there you
love
go.
To come
right.
back.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. Well, good deal. So we are. Toby's said here clearly she could tell that we're good friends, and there's absolute truth to that. We've been friends a very, very, very long time. He actually helped me build the studio.
Yeah, put up a couple of these.
He did. That's how good a friend he is, and we've loaned each other gear through the years. We've hung out. We just kind of He's a pretty good guy, I guess. All in all,
taught me the deeper end of Remo heads and stuff. And,
right.
We did a lot of tuning and tensioning discussions. And
yes, we have. That's for sure. Well, thank you so much, Renee, for being here tonight. I have one more final question. You watch the show just about every week.
Yep.
So you probably know what the question is. And you know that we can't be friends if you get the answer wrong.
Nope.
It's incredibly important. You see, Renee Beavers, what is your favorite Rick Springfield song?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
You can't.
Affair of the Heart.
Oh, see, yeah, that's the right answer. It's the right that's why we're friends. It's the right answer.
There's some other great tunes, but yeah.
It's such a great song.
Checked it out.
That's a great song. Well, thank you so much.
Well, John Billings played with Rick Springfield.
You know what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Bass player in Nashville?
Yeah. I know John.
He was with Rick Springfield.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No kidding. we're going to do a bit of a late night learning tonight with Renee. He doesn't even know that this is going to happen, but we're going to talk traditional grip a little bit because he's one of my traditional grip friends as well. So we're going to talk a little traditional grip right after. Late night learning, 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 late night learning. All right, so Renee and I both play traditional grip. Lots of you have seen my videos about being a traditional grip player, but as I drop my drumsticks, he and I have a very different approach to playing traditional grip. And me, I come from the marching band world with it, where my grip tended to initially be relatively tight here, and all of the motion came this way. Now, as I've become a looser drum set player, I'm a lot looser in here, and I'm further back on the stick. I'm way back here all the time to hit those back beats. Whoops, to hit those back beats.
Yeah, I get
live
back
TV,
there.
huh?
I get back there.
Yeah, right. Too. It's pretty hard not to. But I'm curious how you approach, and you feel free to take this with you. Show me how you approach your left hand, especially on that back beat. Here, why don't you do a shuffle or two?
See if there is an approach.
Of course there is.
My middle finger almost rides off.
Well, yeah, mine does the same thing. So yeah, it's
time too. So quicker shuffles, I almost tend to, because if you're doing double shuffle,
So you're keeping that pretty tight for that.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll ride up here a little bit.
Why do you do that?
Yeah. It's just preparing myself for the pop.
Sure.
So Dave was saying he saw me one day and he said, "You're kind of molar technique in it." And maybe I am, but I almost feel that I'm just coming up, and so I'm getting that tap as I come up as well.
Sure. Okay, I see that.
But then too, my ghost notes.
Right.
If I want to ghost, but a lot of them, if you're gonna do them where it's totally even, where it's
right,
the left hand's the same as the right. I can do that. Then up to a certain tempo, then it starts floating back to the
sure.
again, like that. But that also too, if it's kind of a swing, if my shuffle leans on the swing end of it, then you hear this hand do this a little bit. See. So I may not be playing all the triplet feel of that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I get that. It looks like you're using a lot of wrist with that. A lot of turn. Is that accurate? Because I'm sure you probably don't think about it. You're just doing it. But
no.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll play some match, but it's not as good as it used to be. But then it'd be there for more of expression. But about like 0.5% of that, bam, I'm right back.
Of course.
Left,
I do the same thing.
And sometimes I switch because I may get tired if I haven't played in a while.
Yeah, of course.
So. And sometimes if it ends up back here, it's because it slid.
I know, right? Yeah.
But I've been riding it more in here again.
Have you? It's really interesting because I find the ghost note thing in particular, I tend to be really low with my left hand, really close to the drum, and I turn. That's just kind of my whole bag is about that turn. And sometimes I'll pull up, like you were talking about, to get a different angle of approach.
Right. Well, I can ghost down when I'm lower.
Yeah,
too.
Sure. Yeah. So it's just a different way of approaching the same thing. It's all just such a cool, different way to do things. By the way, I don't know. I mean, I do a ton of recording, And something I've noticed is that when I play in traditional grip, my groove tends to be a tiny little bit ahead of the click. And when I switch over and play match grip, I'm on the back side of the click. So if I'm needing a backside feel, I almost exclusively do it match grip.
I can't say if mine are even, 50-50.
Right.
But probably to get that laid back, it's traditional.
That's so weird, isn't it? How those little changes, though, mechanically.
I mean, I play ahead of it,
right.
but sometimes just more relaxed.
Right.
Feel you.
I think it's all the Stuart Copeland I listen to, pushing through everything. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing some knowledge with us there. That's really great. And
these innovative percussion sticks.
They are really good, aren't they? Yeah.
I need to get some.
We are both innovative artists and Remo artists for that matter. So tell me about your gear real quick.
Still playing Sakai drums.
Yeah.
They're back, out there starting to build some kits. So we'll see after everything starts to settle down, hopefully, pandemic-wise, economy-wise, that they can start getting back into that market again.
Sure.
But right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure.
And stuff, and everybody just say they sound great. Remo drum heads. Play Bosphorus cymbals.
That's right. You've been playing Bosphorus for a few years now.
Since 2017.
Ty Dennis was a guest of mine, and he's also a Bosphorus guy.
Yeah. Went and played his collection. Check that out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So he let me have kind of an idea what I'm going to be expecting to hear.
Nice.
And snare weight. We both
play snare weights. That's true.
Snare weight, ahead cases.
Me too.
I got the carpet, for my tour. So do that. Future Sonic headphones.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds very. Sledge pad. Yeah. That's been really great.
Did you bring me to Sledge Pad, or did I bring you to Sledge Pad?
No, you actually got one sent to you.
Yes.
I had one to bring to you.
That's right. You were telling me about it though. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
Not too dry, not too much sustain.
Yeah, there's something about that Sledge Pad. It works.
Yeah. And I've been using the Chris McHugh bass drum beater. Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
Wood core with the yarn.
Yeah.
The concept of it is to give you enough bottom end, but still have some attack without
Who makes that innovative?
Yeah. Without that over click.
Yeah.
And everybody that mixes it says, sounds great.
I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to check that out. All right. That's really cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Renee, for being here with us.
Thanks.
I really appreciate your time. And it's been a great hang tonight. Thank you to everybody that joined us tonight as well. We've had people all over the world, obviously. Thanks for everybody saying hello to Renee. And we do have this is a great human being sitting next to me. There's a reason we've been friends for so long. He puts up with me. It's just been really fun to know Renee for as long as I've known him. Beyond that, let me tell you about next week. Next week, we are going to have a real treat. Emma Green, a physical therapist that absolutely saved my arm, is going to be here. She will be live in the studio just like this next Monday night answering your questions. So if you have physical ailments, this is your chance to have a conversation with her. Ask her about your back. Come ask her, next week. But you're going to want to be here for that. It's going to be a really neat show, a little different. Instead of talking music, we're going to talk about the things that drummers in particular, we have some physical things we have to deal with: our hands, our arms, our feet, our legs, the stuff that we go through. We're essentially athletes, and so we have to treat our bodies that way. And she's gonna give you some information on how to do that very thing. So be sure to tune in next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Groove Diner After Dark. That's the YouTube channel. We hope you'll join us over there. If you are watching this later on after the live show and you have questions, don't forget to send us emails at groovedinerafterdark@gmail.com. We'll get to them as quickly as we can for sure. And next week, be prepared. If you'd like to have something to ask Emma specifically, send me an email in advance and I'll take care of that for you. All right. So thank you so much for everybody joining us, and we'll see you next week.